Hey guys, welcome to another Cigar Chat brought to you live on CigarFederation.com. Broadcasting around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are out there in the world today. Robbie Raz, Cigar Federation here with you as always. We've got Logan, and he's wearing some grumpy pants today. Logan, you gonna be nice to our guest today?
I'll be, of course, man. I'll be nice to our guests. It just, a couple people got me fired up, man, on YouTube. And I wore my Sun Knit vest for him, getting all dressed up for old Sammy.
Are you even wearing pants today?
I'm wearing shorts. That's for real, like I am, because of Sammy. Sammy, I dressed up for you, bro.
You're giving him too much power. So, guys, we've got special guest today, Josh from Oliva Cigar Company, taking the time out to hang with us. Josh, how you doing, man? Josh, did we lose you right off the bat?
Yeah, we cut out there for a minute. So I heard Josh, and then it was a little freeze there. But I'm here, guys. I'm live. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor, and looking forward to a good smoke this evening.
Yeah, it should be a good time. We met Josh at IPCPR. John and I did an interview with him. You guys had such a nice setup. And with the cabinets were all well lit and everything, and then I watched the video and it's like we both look like we're in witness protection because you can't see our faces with all the light behind us. But that setup that you guys have, and I've been to IPCPR a couple years in a row. We were just offline talking about upcoming IPCPR, so it's kind of on my head. But you guys always have a really nice setup there. So, but this was the first time that we were able to chat with you guys. I don't think we got out there last year.
No.
But yeah, no, we definitely appreciated hanging out and chatting with you and I mean, a lot's happened since then. Obviously, I mean, with the Milano, which I'm smoking. I think Logan's smoking the same. Getting the #1 cigar of the year from Cigar Federation, from Cigar Aficionado. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, much appreciated. A long time coming, and I'm just glad to see that it got the rating and the media attention that I think that it deserves.
So what
question.
Dang it. I got a better question. What was that day like? Did you guys know in advance, or is it? Because I have no idea how that goes, and if you're not allowed to tell us, that's fine. But I mean, how did that day go when you guys found out? It was just, it had to be just absolutely crazy.
No, we knew that we were in the running for it, so it might have been a possibility getting the rating that it did get, but had no idea that it was going to get #1. I tell you, it was well received. We were just ecstatic, and a lot of people went right to work. That's for sure.
I can imagine. I mean, how many, ballpark it or whatever you can tell us, how many orders did you guys fill that day? Close
to 20,000.
Jesus.
That was my question. Jerk.
Yeah.
Logan, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can ask it again if you want.
No. Well, my question was going to be, is that
God, 20.
How long does it take for the Cigar Aficionado #1 rating to wear off? Like, what I mean is that you get it, right? And people are blowing up your phones because they know, obviously, people who read Cigar Aficionado are going to want to come in and buy that cigar. That makes total sense. But at what point does that kind of luster wear off and people are waiting for the next one? Do you know what I mean? Because there's been a lot of #1 cigars, and that probably don't sell that well. I'm just curious.
Sure. No, that's a great question. The way that we take it, and as I said, it was so well received by the company, by all of the reps, by most of the retailers. We went right to work, and I meant everyone from the sales reps all the way through. Carlos Oliva is on the phone down with Eduardo in Esteli at the factory, getting guys to stay over, doing a little bit of overtime, packing up everything that was ready, and then, believe it or not, they air-shipped from Esteli straight to the warehouse in Miami as much as they could that night.
Wow.
Ordered 6 new molds for the Figurados to be able to keep up with production. And then, so the V's are the only cigar in the industry that the rollers are on salary.
Really?
So we had 9 master rollers, and so they had to promote more to be able to keep up with production. But so getting to your question, Logan, that was kind of a little bit of a roundabout way. Getting right to your question, a lot of companies have had the honor of getting this, and one of the things that was stated in the email was that we're getting this honor. A lot of companies have fallen flat on their face right after getting the honor, whether it be production issues, quality issues, and we vowed to say, hey, we're not going to be one of those companies. We're going to keep up with as much as we can. Quality, that's one of the things, the consistency that Oliva prides themselves on is, the quality of the cigar that you're getting, the consistency, and then the construction of it. And you're not going to see those falter with the Milano, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would be, exactly. I think that's definitely the route you would want to go, because I think that's a trap that you could fall in, because you got number 1, you can definitely ring the register, but as my law professor said, it said pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
And able, my answer, I guess, was still a little bit going around your question. In how do you keep up and how do you sustain that 6 months from now? Keeping it fresh. And so that was just kind of the tip of the iceberg, the answer that I gave. Being able to keep up with production is the first thing. Be able to keep it in people's hands. But then, it's all the way that we, the reps, how we plan our events, what kind of materials that we're given to the retailers to be able to keep this fresh in the minds of the end user, you guys.
I can imagine, though. Sorry, I'm going to jump in real quick. There's if a smaller company wins Best Cigar of the Year, I can see that being an issue. It's a good thing. It's a good problem to have, right? You can't keep up with demand, but it can also turn out after a couple of months. It's like, okay, well, we don't care anymore. We want what's new. But you guys are a big enough operation that you can absorb a lot of that, I would imagine. You probably, like you said, you knew you guys were in the running, so you had to be preparing for it to a certain extent. You can never prepare for being number 1, but I can imagine it was just a little bit easier for you guys to absorb it than, say, I don't know, a smaller company. I don't want to pick one out, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point, Rob. It helps that we're the size that we are, and we keep everything in line. Grow most of our own tobacco, and have those rollers there and ready. So it makes it a lot easier.
Sure, I can imagine. Sorry, I cut you off, Logan. Do you have something else you wanted to chime in?
No, thank you, jerk. Show.
But you're dressed so nicely today that I want to keep
Hey, man, I'm supporting the Irish, Hey.
Are you Irish?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, and you probably won't believe this. This is a true story. Is that if you Google, LAWLOR, my family actually had a castle in Central Ireland, and we're actually Irish Protestant, so we drink Bushmills and not Jameson, and all the Lawlers here, they're spelled L-A-W-L-E-R, which, those jerks in Ellis Island screwed it all up, but to make it more American, I guess. But they're all descendant from 4 Irish brothers that came over during the potato famine.
Well, the guys at Ellis Island screwed up Vito Corleone's name too, but he did all right.
Hey, man, I guess they just set me back, dog. Because it's just so much more legit that way. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
There goes you. So when I was in Ireland and I was hanging out at my father-in-law's property, they've got like this crumbled up little piece of a turret that's from some castle from a long time ago. That could have been the Lawler Castle.
It could have been.
I could have been standing. I stood in there and it felt like it was going to fall at any given second.
If it's anything that my family has built, it probably will, because we're not quite the craftsmen.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing had to be about 300 or 400 years old. We are so far off topic that I don't even know how to get back. So I knew we were going to jump in and talk about number one cigar. That's a big deal, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But let's talk a little bit about your role with Oliva. I mean, mostly when we're on our shows, we have the guys who are down at they're blending the cigars. They're constantly traveling back and forth to the factory. You're constantly traveling, but it's a different set of scenarios. So we got a question here, and I like the way that John phrased this. He says, what is the life of a cigar rep like? Is it fast cars and even faster women?
Yeah, you guys had a bunch of great questions. Yeah, that was one off of it. A lot of people, there's a perception out there, and that we drive fancy cars, eat fancy meals, wear fancy suits and fancy jewelry. It's a glorified sales rep, job with any company. It's sweet that it gets to be cigars. It's where my passion's at. But most of us are just like any of you, as bad as that sounds. But we do get to enjoy a nice meal every once in a while. Drive a nice set of wheels around. Myself personally, I have a family, a wife and a little one, a 2-year-old. So I'm on the road a lot. Yeah, I enjoy what I do and love sitting around and chatting it up with guys, which is why I got into the industry. But the job does come with a few perks, that's for sure.
Well, you're traveling right now. I mean, you're at Riverside Cigars, Jeff's shop, right?
Yep. I'm here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, at Riverside Cigars, broadcasting live in the back room.
Yeah, it was nice of them to let you go in the back room. We can still kind of hear some people having a good time out there in the front. So I'm sure they'll be having a really good time by the time you get out there. But Logan, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, you did. I'm used to it.
It happens.
It happens. So, question about being a rep, and it's kind of a two-part question, and you're probably not going to want to answer it, but I'd appreciate if you did.
Sure.
I feel like the rep game is one. I've never been a rep, so I'm just perceptions, but I feel like reps change a lot, and like from company to company, right? And it's the repping is a job that I think it's very difficult. At least my perception is it's very hard to start as a rep at, like, say, Oliva, right, and work your way up the chain. Where if you want to make more money, you want to sell more, you hop companies because you've made relationships. You can leverage those accounts, sell a crap ton of cigars, etc. I mean, is that how kind of you? I mean, is that statement kind of true, or is there a difference between maybe someone like Oliva or a general that's more established, or versus someone or a company that's maybe a little bit smaller that doesn't have that type of infrastructure?
Sure, and as always, Logan, great question.
I do, baby. That's what I do, son.
I mean, there's many different answers that we can give. Getting in, I was so fortunate to get in with the greatest company as Oliva right off the bat. It's different working for a conglomerate like you were saying, General, Altadis, what have you, Davidoff, rather than a family company. Oliva, myself, some of the other family companies. So there's a huge difference in between us, and I get along. To what my knowledge is, I get along with everybody, at least in my region and territory. I'm really good friends with the general rep. But in my case, and coming into it, I knew where my loyalty was, and I expressed that in the interview with the Olivas, and said, hey, this is where I am. If I'm gonna work my way up, I want to work my way up in Oliva. But there are quite a few, and then there's even some guys lower than the family companies, which would be not all brokers, but there's a lot of new cigar companies coming along, and they're getting some smaller game brokers, and you see those guys moving up to a different company, and joining the rat race, if you will.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. I mean, in terms of being a rep, I mean, I know that you guys travel an absolute ton. And I've always thought about this because I love accounting, which makes me weird, but I do love accounting. And weird. Doing my taxes because, hey, I just love doing my taxes and getting a big refund. But on it, are most reps set up, I'm assuming, that I feel like a lot of them don't have a base salary. It's just here's your commission, and you just kind of pay for everything out of your pocket, like, your gas, your travel, your depreciation, all that. Or is it typical just to have a set salary and then you have commission on top of that?
I think a lot of companies. What's that?
Or is there no commission?
No. In the array of what we were talking about, going from the conglomerate to the family to the broker, you've hit all of those in your explanation. In all of those, whether it be I can't really talk for the conglomerates, and right. I can't really talk for the brokers, but from what I've heard, yeah, you've hit everything. There are ones that are salary plus commission. I'm sure there are some that are just salary and they get no commission at all. And then I know from what I've heard that there are brokers out there that, hey, they got to pay everything up front, and then they just make a solid commission off of that.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Josh, how long have you been in the business?
Yeah. This is 3 years for me.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because we got some guys commenting in the chat room that because you do look very young. I mean, I would, if I had to guess, I would have
said like 25.
I would say late 20s, which I mean, I'm too old to be in my late 20s, so I'm jealous of that. But I'm jealous of your hair too. That's why I wear the beanie.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fanatic about that. I catch a lot of flack for the way that I dress. Being a Midwest boy, I'm from Cincinnati. That's where I reside right now. But I like to keep it fresh. And the hairstyle, the suits, the dress, everything goes along with it, and that's just one way that I keep up my rep, if you will.
You got. I mean, it's all part of the game. You got to do what you got to do.
It is, man.
I want to say that when yeah, you got to. Sometimes you just got to wear a grubby sweatshirt and look like you haven't showered. I mean,
or you can do that every day. Just ball outrageous like Logan.
And when I'm telling you, man, when you're working from home and you don't actually have to see people, it doesn't matter.
No, man. I mean, I'll go days without showering. For real. Who cares?
Yeah, that's really good to know. I imagine that your wife and your little girl care. The little one, I mean, Callie can't express it yet, but when you pick her up every time and she cries, it might be the funk, man.
Actually, believe it or not, we had the best compliment for Callaway the other day at daycare. Like, two of her teachers were like, she is the most happy baby we've ever seen in our life.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't cry. She never gets upset. She's always smiling. She's always happy. And it's just kind of nice. Because I put it in perspective, because now I'm like, when she is fussy, I'm like, man, this could be 24/7.
Yeah, no, that is a good compliment. I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't really know how that feels. But hey, guys, you're listening to Cigar Chat, brought to you live on CigarFederation.com, broadcast around the world in the Armed Forces Radio Network. We're here with Josh Bentley from Oliva Cigars, talking about a bunch of different things. We were just talking about Logan's baby. We're going to move on. So I got a question here. This one's from Jason Myers. We're going to stick with the whole life as a cigar rep thing. This is when representing a cigar company like Oliva with so many cigars to choose from, what process do you go through with B&Ms to help them decide what blends and sizes they're going to carry from the Oliva portfolio? I like that question because the Oliva portfolio, I mean, like the Oliva V has a million sizes. There's a ton of sizes in all these different cigars. You guys have so many different things. How do you pare it down?
That's a great question. That was another one amongst the many in the questions that I saw. So the way that I start and the way that I start with new accounts. First off, I build a relationship with them before anything. I think that's the most important thing. You find out a little bit about them as a shop, find out about their demographic, and then I kind of take them through and we do we look through our whole profile and take it from mild, medium, full body, and everything in between, and just find out what's going to best suit them in terms of, hey, most of my demographic smokes mild cigars. I have an account that, hey, we don't want any Maduros. Well, hey, I sit down with them and I say that that's great, but let's try and insert this here and see if we can get any play on this. Let me come in, and when I do my event, I'll talk a little bit about this G Maduro and tell you why I think it's going to differ from your opinion. I know you're used to a medium cigar. I think that this is going to not only fit into your budget, but I think that the flavor profile is really going to go along well with what you've described, as your demographic and what they like to smoke. Other than that, I'm going to try and put in an array. The Oliva, Connecticut. I'm definitely biased, but I think that's going to be one of the best Connecticut's that's on the market. And if any newbie is coming at me, or I'm in a shop when a newbie walks in, the Oliva, Connecticut, that's what I'm going to point you at. Then you have your seasoned smokers, the V, meaty, chewy cigar, if you will. That's going to fit your palate. You like a little bit of spice, and then the Melanio that we're smoking tonight. The thing about the Melanio, I think, is I've told you to so many people. I think that it caters to both novice smokers and experienced smokers. It's one where you get a little bit of that body, and it might be peppery off of the start, but it's such a smooth smoking cigar that it really will cater to either end.
Yeah, that's funny. I was thinking that when I lit this up, and this is the first time that I've smoked this particular size, and there is that blast of pepper right up front. And as I smoked through it, and I mean I'm about halfway through right now, and when I got about a quarter of the way through, I started pairing it with the chocolate stout, so it changes the flavor profile a little bit. But I can understand why this type of cigar would be so widely successful. It's like you just said. It's got everything that we coined this term, and we try to push it maybe too often. Everything that the modern palate is looking for. It's got that strength. It's got enough flavor, but at the same time, it's nuanced enough where maybe your old seasoned guys are going to like it, but it's approachable enough that a younger, quote unquote, cigar smoker, maybe somebody with a younger palate, I should say, is going to appreciate it too. So I can definitely see how that would be interesting. And I want to revisit the Connecticut as well. I haven't smoked Oliva Connecticut in a long time, and you sent me some, so I'm definitely going to check it out. And that Petite Robusto too, which seems like a pretty cool little size. I mean, that's what, like a good 30-minute smoke tops.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely going to check that one out. Let me see. I got a couple more questions here, Logan, unless you want to chime in.
Yeah, real quick, Logan. What I wanted to, what were your thoughts on the Melanio so far?
You're muted there, Chief.
Crap. I'm glad I was, because I just cuss. I let out a string of obscenities. No, I mean, it's definitely a good cigar. I mean, the Melanio is definitely, I don't know. I mean, and I'm going to just state, preface, is I'm negative as all hell when it comes to cigars. So
it really is. There's very little.
I really am. There's not a lot, and it's to the point where I'm about just to start smoking a pipe. And I don't know. I love the Melanio. I mean, not the Melanio. I love the Series V. There's in the Lancero, for the price, you cannot top that cigar. It was a great cigar. The Melanio, for me, though, it's just kind of yeah, I mean, it's good. I can see how people can appreciate it, but for me, it's just kind of meh. I don't know. But yeah. I will say, Oliva V Lancero tits is amazing. I mean, seriously,
I'm pretty sure we can say that.
I could say that. I mean, what's it coming in a 36 count box? I think I've probably smoked well over 100 of them, and it's for me, at least for me, it's got that nice strength, nice body, and it's just an all-around flavorful smoke. And then the Lancero, some of the sizes for me, the Oliva V, are a little big, like the double Robusto and stuff. And it can put a heater on you. I mean, it's a strong cigar, but in the Lancero, it just shines. So that's my glowing endorsement. And for me to say I smoked 100 of your cigars, that's a lot.
Well, I got some coming for you, buddy. I should have put those in your sample pack.
You probably should have. You know what else you put in my sample pack that made me feel a little inadequate was these Padilla 7x70s. My wife took a look at that and was like, son, what is going on up in there? So, needless to say, I will not be smoking it. I mean, so let me ask you. So you guys were distributing for Padilla, correct?
Correct.
And now you're not?
Correct.
Let me ask you an uncut, off-the-cuff question. I heard Ernesto's a pain in the ass to work with. Is that true? Is that why you're not distributing anymore?
Here. Complete opposite, man. Complete opposite. I love Ernesto. I couldn't think of a better guy to work with. The Olivas have been working with him for on and off 10+ years, and we're continuing to work with him. Making his cigars his national brands. He's gonna, venture off and do some more things on his own. I wish him the best of luck. But yeah, he's out on his own. He went out on good terms, and we still have a great relationship.
Okay.
We had Ernesto on the show about a year ago, Logan. That'd be about a year ago.
It couldn't have been long enough ago.
It was a great show, but we started talking about bands, and his background's in graphic design, so I can understand that he's very detail oriented. He went on for a half hour about band artwork. And,
he really did.
And Jonathan Drew came on because he comes on Cigar Federation every once in a while and comments and gets in the chat room and hangs out. And he commented on that show. It's like that is the ultimate ADD interview because it was just all over the place. But I could see that someone that would be that detail oriented could be tough to work with. But Logan put you on Front Street there, and you handled it very nicely.
I did. Well, I just know that he's worked with a lot of different factories, right? He's worked with my father. He's worked with a bunch of factories. And when you see that kind of stuff in the industry, right, when somebody like, Courtney Smith's no longer working at, La Polina, right? There's obviously stories behind that, right? And I'm just curious because that one thing about the cigar industry, it's full of rumors. And I was like being that sleuth, getting down to the bottom of it.
You like to perpetuate them a little bit too.
Oh, I do.
We should start one. Let's start a rumor right now. What do you want to do? Josh, you're gonna take over at Tatuaje. Let's just start that rumor, no?
Oh boy.
No, if I was gonna start a rumor, it would definitely be better than that. No offense. Like it would be something halfway believable, and I would spread it like wildfire.
You would.
Let's do that. Let's do that sometime.
We'll come up with something offline. We got a ton of these questions here we got to get to.
Okay, go ahead.
So this one, kind of a straightforward question. This one's from Bob. Let's see, Bob. I'm just going to say Bob because it's Bob Langmad, I guess. He says, "Is the Melanio your favorite cigar?"
Melanio, yes. Before the rating, Melanio was my go-to smoke. I saw another question in there, and this might have been a two-parter, but they said that the Figurado got the the #1 rating. What if any is your favorite Vitola in the Melanio? My go-to before ever since I've been with Oliva is the Melanio #4, the Petite Corona size. The size, kind of like Logan was saying with the Lancero, it does the flavor profile, amazing. It does wonders to that. I enjoy all the sizes, but my favorite and my anytime go-to smoke would be the Melanio #4.
Okay. So we were touching on rumors, and let's see, we've got another rumor. Question here, and this one's from Punch Nubbit.
Punch.
He says, "Do you have any comment on the rumor about a certain company looking at acquiring another company that rhymes with Moniva.
I've heard that. Oliva's wanting to get out of the game. That's what I heard.
You heard what?
I heard Oliva wants to get out of the game.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago, I think it was out there. Davidoff was going to acquire us, and last year's rumor I think was General was going to acquire us. Then at the beginning of the year this year, General was going to acquire us, and that was going around. And then when we got to the sales meeting this year, somebody had put back out there that Davidoff was looking to acquire us. I want to put all the rumors to rest. It's not happening. We're not for sale right now as a company. We sat down in our sales meeting, we're almost to the top, and we just keep working, and some of the things that we're implementing, wouldn't be things that a company that is looking to get acquired would be implementing. I just want to put that to rest. Right now, we're in one of the best situations that we've been in, I wouldn't be surprised if we acquired somebody here in the future.
There it is. There's the. Now we can start the rumor, Logan. Well, this is going to get fun. So another thing, though, Logan, keep a note. Write this down somewhere, because Josh said definitively no, we're not for sale. And if we hear in a couple weeks that Oliva sold to somebody, you're gonna have some explaining to do.
That's right. We're gonna. Oh man, it's gonna be a follow up with rebuttal with Josh Bentley.
All of a sudden, you're not gonna respond to emails, no text messages.
No.
Oh, you'll get that. Hey, I got a new phone. I don't know who this is. Who's this sending a text message to me? Which apparently everybody does that. I thought that I was kind of genius when I'd get a text message from somebody I didn't recognize. And I was real polite about it, but no, I guess everybody does that.
What?
Just if you reply back and say, "Hey, I lost my phone. I got a new one. I don't know who this is."
You know what? If I don't know you, I'm like Tyler Durden. I just screen my phone calls.
Right.
You watch that movie?
Yeah. You talking Fight Club?
Yeah, dude. He
Have you read the book?
Phone calls. I've never. Dude, do you think I read?
That was a dumb question. That might be the dumbest question I've ever asked.
Hey, but you know what I did read? I read the 182 pages of the Pipe Man Handbook in about 3 days.
Wow, that's off topic.
I know it is.
Let's see. Let's see. We got some in the chat rooms. Oliva's going to acquire Crowned Heads and Caldwell. That seems to be the go. That's the go. That would be a nice pickup. Some good brands there.
Either one of those would be a nice pickup.
I mean, as far as a company getting acquired, I mean, they get acquired all the time. I mean, that's the part of the business. But if nothing else, your price really just went up in December. You know what I mean? Like the price skyrocketed. So that's a good thing for it. Let's see. Keep going down the line of questions here. Another one from John Reiner, the cigar surgeon.
You mean feminine Canadian?
Yeah, we were giving John a little bit of guff offline, and we would have done it even if he was there. It's all in good fun. But he says, I'm a huge fan of the Oliva V Maduro, and that's true. I feel like he reviews it like every week.
No, he has like I don't know if it's like the Oliva V like limited edition, and he did this like big damn extravaganza where he smoked blind the 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and then like put stickers on them and had people blind send them to him, and then he smoked them and tried to pick them out, and then did this contest. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Anyway, he's nuts about the Oliva V.
Oh, you can't get enough.
He says the line is 6 years old now. It's going on 7 in 2015. How do you continue to evolve the line in Europe and in the United States?
Another great question. You know what? I think it's going off of what you guys said before, and it might be a little bit different when you're talking about evolving rather than changing, because I guess that would be in the definition. But why fix something when it's not broke? It's a limited edition that comes out every year right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. We've done everything from 6,000 boxes to 8,000 to 10,000 boxes and everywhere in between. And I think we're going to continue with that. As far as I know right now, keep it that limited edition. I know a lot of guys that would love to see it as a regular line extension. But that's just something that's not in the cards immediately. We have a lot to work with the Melanio and keeping up with that production. But we're going to just continue on making the V Maduro a limited edition right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Trying to do a new Vitola every year. I know it had originally come out that we were going to stick with last year's 2013 for 2014, the double Robusto size, and then changed it up to the double Toro kind of at the last second. But we'll stick with that for right now.
So, kind of a rookie question. This is for my own edification and for some other folks who may not be that familiar. I've smoked the V Maduro a bunch of times, and I love the cigar. Is the way to tell the difference in the year, is it through the Vitola?
Correct.
Okay.
So the first year that it came out, what was that? 2008.
Yeah. So yeah.
2008 was. So that was the year that it was the 7 by 54 torpedo. And so that was the only year. And so if you remember back the O's right before they changed them up, the O torpedo also used to be a 7-inch. And then that following year, 2009, that's when they reblended and brought it back down to a 6 by 52 torpedo. And then that year they changed it to a 6 by 52 torpedo. So that was 2009. And then they did 2 years of that. So there were 3 torpedoes, 08, 09, 10. And then I believe in 11 and 12 it was Toros. So that was, again, 2 years in a row that they did the same size in Toro. And then 13 double Robusto, 14 double Toro.
Man, a 7-inch torpedo is a big-ass cigar.
Gigantor.
That is a big, big torpedo. Wow.
I ran across a couple of them, and I'm going to do my best. If I can get my hands on some, I'll shoot you guys out some to, try a 2008. It's been aging pretty well. It's pretty mellow the last time I smoked it.
Wow. Yeah, I've smoked the ones that I smoked it was the smaller torpedoes. So that was the 09 and the 10, right?
Correct.
And then the next size was the Toro.
Yes.
Those are the two that I've smoked. But no, a 7-inch torpedo. I think I'd remember that. There's a joke there. Yeah, there's a joke there, but I'm going to keep moving. So let's see what else we have here. We touched on this a little bit, but we'll get official with the question. So thanks for the chat, Josh. This one's from Chris DeSal. Says, I'm a big fan of the V, the Melanio, and the Master Blends #3. If you could recommend Oliva cigars to a new smoker, an occasional smoker, and a seasoned smoker, what would they be?
Yep. Saw this one. Great question. Chris, right?
Yep.
Chris, yeah, great question. Again, to you guys, thanks for having me on. New smoker. I had said it a little bit before, the Connecticut Reserve. If you're a new smoker, you don't want to put a hurting on yourself and go right in deep. I'm going to start you off with a Connecticut Reserve. It's something mild, woody, a little bit nutty, creamy. I think you're going to like that right off the bat, and that will get you started. The next one was not a seasoned smoker, but what was Rob?
An occasional smoker.
Occasional smoker. Occasional smoker, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and find out what they like. You want a spicy cigar? You want an earthy cigar? In my line, more than likely, I would probably go towards a G or African Cameroon wrapper. Going to have that earthy coffee tone to it. Somewhere right above a mild in a medium. You get into the Maduro medium plus. Just an overall economic cigar in the price. Great flavor profile in it. So an occasional smoker I'd put into the G. If you wanted a little bit more spice, something to sit a little bit heavier, the O. The Old Maduro would probably be getting into a little bit more of your seasoned smoker, but is going to bring out that spice, the rich cedar flavor that I think an occasional smoker that likes their cigar spicy would really get into. And then right off of the bat for a seasoned smoker, he had mentioned, Chris, you like the V and the Master Blend. The Master Blend you can't go wrong with. I think that's one of the most underrated cigars on the market right now. It has like a dry fruit to me, almost like a raisin or a date. If you really want to hone down on the essence that you get that spice right up front. My favorite Vitola in that is the limited edition that we came out with in a special sampler, the Corona size. Logan, I think that's something that you could get into, and that the Corona. Yeah.
Those Coronas, those Corona Gordas are setting me off, son.
Yeah. Maybe I'll slip that in those V Lanceros.
Hey, man, if you send those my way, I'll be your biggest fanboy.
Get your jollies off on those. That's right.
Get my jollies off on.
That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull it back. I'm reining you guys in. I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm gonna rein you guys in.
It could happen real easy.
So with the Master Blends, there's Master Blend 1, Master Blend 2, and Master Blend 3. And the 3 has been out for a few years now. Is there going to be a Master Blends 4? Can we look for something like that coming in the near future?
We've brought it up and molded over quite a few times, and for the time being, I think we're going to stick with the Master Blend 3. Going back, and some of those are some of the most sought after, those original Master Blends, I sat down with Jose Oliva my first trade show, and had a Master Blend original in hand, and he was just telling me a bit about it. It's his favorite cigar. When we came out with those, I believe that was 04, I think, is when we came out with the original Master Blend. That was the one with the immaculate box that had the picture insert that was hand painted, and everything. That was the strongest cigar in our profile at that time. If you revisit and you get your hands on one of those, it's going to be one of the most subtle, amazing smoke that it just aged so perfectly over time that it is really unbelievable. I believe that was 125,000 were produced of those, and then we moved into the Master Blend 2, and that might have been double, possibly 250,000. And then the year following, Master Blend 3, and like I said, it's a very underrated cigar. It can be hard to find. It has its pockets where it really does well in the industry. For right now, I think it's going to be the Master Blend 3 for quite a while.
I've actually got a Master Blend 1 in a Churchill size, I think. Yeah. And I've got a 2 in the Churchill, and a 3, I believe, in the Churchill. They're all about the same size. And I've got another one of the 2s in like a Robusto. I don't remember where I got those. I must have picked them up in a trade or something, because 2004 was before my time. Yeah. As a cigar smoker, I've been smoking for a while, but not that long. But I do have one, and I always remember they've got that a little piece of, almost like a little stamp or something that's on the wrapper itself, just underneath the band there.
It was a laser etching that they had on the Master Blend 1s and the originals, and then the Master Blend 2s.
Yeah, they're really sweet looking cigars. The Master Blend 3 I've smoked a few of. Haven't smoked one in a while, but maybe I'll do something where I smoke all 3 and do a little review or something like that. Because God, that cigar's got 10 years on it. It's ready to be smoked.
Yeah. Hey, the next cigar chat that Josh Oliva Bentley's on, we'll do Master Blends.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll do that.
That's a good cigar.
Have you smoked the 3, right, Logan? Have you smoked the other 2?
Yeah, that's the only one I've smoked. It's good, man. It's a good cigar.
And it
just looks sexy.
It is. It's got a really cool band on it.
It
is kind of underrated. It's one of those really good cigars that we don't talk about it all that much, but when we do, everybody says, "Oh yeah, that is a good cigar." So
yeah, it's true.
I think you have a point that it is a little bit underrated. Let's see, more questions here. This one's from Fat Kid, Brian Ekstrom. This Fat Kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many names, I get them confused. He says, with so many cigar makers flooding the market with new cigars, limited editions, and all that, why has Oliva made the choice to stick with your core lines over the past couple of years when the market seems to be going the other way? I think it's a good question. There's some. You guys do a few, like we talked about, a few different. The Oliva V Maduro is a bit of a limited release and that kind of thing. But for the most part, you guys stick with your core lines, and it seems to have paid off.
It really has, and that's been a question all the way from the the sales side and mulled over at a lot of meetings to a lot of the end users coming up to us at events and saying, hey man, we'd love to see a limited edition, and the Olivas as a whole are a traditional cigar family, and that was one of the things that I think that when they started making cigars that hey, we're going to make this core, and we're going to stick with it. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to focus on what we do, and we're going to do it well. And I think that that has proven to be a good brick in the industry. And we've really if you want to say evolved throughout time and going through a lot of ups and downs that we've had in our industry. That you see a lot of guys that are doing that, making some limited editions and stuff, and then they go away and nobody really talks about them again. But it's those core group of guys that make those cigars and make them well, that last for the sands of time.
In a way, the philosophy, the way Oliva carries themselves, and even the way that you guys present yourselves at IPCPR, the biggest trade show of the year, really mirrors the way that Padron carries themselves, and mirrors and sets things up in the way. The look is kind of similar, and maybe I'm just saying that because there's both brown. I don't think that that's really it, but there's a lot of, I see a lot of corollaries between the two, I guess. I mean, if there's an ideal that you're going to follow, I mean, why not aim high, right?
Yeah, that's true. And going back to it, it's all about tradition. The Olivas are very traditional, and that's even when they came out with the Nub. If you guys remember that, that was that was a huge thing. Going outside of the bounds, making a 4x60 cigar, and they stepped out a little bit right there, and it paid off. But they're very traditional, and you brought up a good point, Rob. Padron, they are who they aren't, right? They stick with the traditional core lines, and that's what makes them who they are, and that's who makes the Olivas and what cigars that we produce who we are.
So you touched on the nubs, and we've got some questions about nubs, so we'll jump right in. This one's from David Jasmine, and I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you answer it. He says, I was just getting into cigars when the Nub Double Maduro came out, and I missed that train because it was a limited release at first. Is there any word on when they're coming back? And I mean, the fact is they're already back in a box press.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a little bit of background on that.
The Nub Dub, as they were calling it, was it was a high priming Brazilian Maduro wrapper, and they came out with it in limited edition. It was I believe the Studio Tobacco. It was one in their sampler, and a lot of guys loved that, and a lot of guys still ask about that at all of our events. Hey man, you guys need to come back out with that. Like you touched on, I believe the box press edition I think came out. There's no real talk about a line extension into the Nub Maduro, adding that to it as a regular Vitola that you're going to see in the brick and mortars. But maybe if we make a big enough hype about it, and get guys talking to all of their reps, we'll make a change, and you'll see that in your brick and mortars.
So it's an online exclusive, correct?
I believe so.
And yeah, so it's now available in a box press. I've seen it some of the bigger online places, cigar.com, Cigars International, I think has them as well. So that one's limited as well. So this one, I guess we're talking directly to David. If you want to get your hands on some, do it now, because they're out there, but they might not be out there forever. That was. I wasn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't a big fan of the nubs. I don't like a big ring gauge.
Dude, you said you love the nub dub.
But I did love the nub dub, and
Dude, you love the double Maduro nubs, man.
Something about double Maduro, man. There's that
triple Maduro.
That extra. Oh, don't get me started on triple. A double Maduro, man. There's that extra little bit of sweetness in there. Forget about it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. One other quick thing. I know we're just almost out of time.
We are.
But we'd be remiss to not talk about the Nub Cafe. This question's from John, again, who was the reason we were talking about him offline. We'll explain the story to him later. He says, Oliva introduced Nub Cafe at IPCPR this past year. It was kind of an interesting time because with the FDA kind of shutting down on some of the flavored or infused, however you want to word it, cigars. Interesting time for that cigar to come out. What was the motivation there in like 2 minutes?
Yeah, so really quickly, we kind of felt like there was something lacking in the industry. You have your infused, a couple of flavors, Java-like and coffee-like. There was something missing. If this does come to fruition with the FDA, we're all leaning on the side that it won't, and maybe that's high hopes that it won't. Then we'll I guess play accordingly. I know that there is going to be a little bit of time that they're going to allow, that those cigars be sold. So we're going to get it while the getting's hot. But there's just something in the market missing in that niche market for that a good flavored infused cigar to touch really quickly. Even though it's got the nub on it, we went a little bit outside the bounds of the nub. And did a couple of different Vitolas. We came out with a Corona. There's a petite Corona in it, and then there's the traditional 4x60. We did a 3.75 by 54, and then they even came out with a Tubo edition and some tin, which the tins are a 4x30.
Oh wow!
Measurement. So.
Okay, yeah, and I know we've got some of those to give away. We'll get to that when we get offline. So, Josh, really do appreciate it. We're going to end our AFRN segment here real quick. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Josh, let everybody know real quick where they can find you online if they've got any questions.
Yes, olivacigar.com. You can also visit Studio Tobacco and see the canes and the nubs there. Nubcafe.com is our website. Check us out. You can see all the cigars there, different Vitolas, different wraps that we have, and check out any upcoming events coming to a brick and mortar near you.
Cool. So that's all available online on the website.
Yep.
That's great. Josh, really do appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Real quick, Rob, I also want to say you can follow me at Oliva Bentley, Twitter, Instagram. I believe I'm out there on Facebook too. So check that out. Guys, I really appreciate you having me on here, and look forward to the next one. We'll get after some master blends and make it happen. Yeah, there's so much stuff we didn't even talk about the canes. I mean, there's so much stuff that we didn't actually get a chance to get into. And we are going to follow you on Instagram. I'm following you. I'm going to look through, because you said that you live a modest lifestyle. You're just a sales guy doing your thing, and I'm going to find some pictures of Rolexes and stuff. I know it. I know I'm going to find it. All right. Anyway, guys, appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Premier Mundo Cigars coming on. Sean was our first interview when we switched over to the video format, so it'll be fun to catch up with him. We haven't talked to him in a while. Guys, really do appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Everybody out there, AFRN listening, everybody stay safe. Thank you so much for what you're doing to keep us safe. Really do appreciate that. And we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for the support. Thanks, guys.
And we're fucking back.
Yeah, now you can say muff.
You can say whatever you want now.
So
let me ask you a question, buddy.
Just so
let me ask you a question, Josh. when you wake up in the morning, how long does it take you to look that pretty?
Oh man.
Oh,
I mean, I feel like you got hair gel for fucking days, bro.
So you're gonna get a different answer from me than you get from my wife, or you know, one of the guys that like to throw in some jabs on me, and guys in the industry. But you know, I'd say give it an hour, not just for the hair, but for the hair, putting the wardrobe together and everything. You know, like I said, I like to do something a little bit different and differentiate myself than the other guys out there. So, you know, one time, you know, it will look like this. Another time, you know, I walked into a shop up north, and the guy's like, "Dude, you look like you just came off a 3-day bender, man. Like, what the hell is going on?"
What the hell's going on? So let me
wait. I've got a topical question, actually.
What's
that? And this one's from Fat Kid. He says, Josh, you have some very fine hair. What kind of hair product do you use?
All right, so this gets a little complicated because my wife's a hairdresser. Oh. So yeah, I've got an in on that industry. I use an Aveda product, hair pomade, and then I finish it off with a dry brush hairspray. You know, that just sets the tone and that look. So when I'm out in the wind and it's blowing everywhere, it doesn't really affect it. Logan, hey, Logan, I'll put that in your package, bud, because I know it's
bro. If you send me any sort of personal hygienic products, that would be legit.
That is awesome.
Is your wife working in a Aveda salon though?
Yeah.
Dude, my wife. I mean, you've seen my wife, Rob. Well, I guess you haven't really seen her. You've never met her, but
I've never met her in person, though.
But you've seen her on camera. She's definitely more well-kept than me. That's for damn sure.
Exceptionally, yeah.
Yeah, and she's an Aveda person, and she only gets her hair like cut and colored and all that bullshit at Aveda salons, and I'm like, God damn, you spent $250. I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of pipe tobacco, you know? So, but anyways, that shit is good. I will say Aveda salons are very good.
Yeah.
They make my wife very happy.
Yeah. So. Hey, hats off to you, man. I wanted to say it, you know, when we were on the air, but dude, Callaway, love the name. Thank
you, man. Well, we're still technically on the air. Like, we're not on AFRN now, but we're still live. Everyone on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you saying that because, like, I feel like everyone we say Callaway, everyone always is like either kind of looks or says it's a cute name or whatever. But there was another one, a cigar industry person. I don't know if you've seen the episode, but he was a little drunk and he absolutely shit all over her name, to the point where we were thinking about calling her something else. But now that I have it, I wouldn't change it for anything.
That's good, man. Stick with it.
Yeah, that's a good name. But I'm telling Callie and Allie, I'm telling you, I think you kind of planned it because you can just, I could see it in like 6 years from now. Logan's sitting on the couch. He's got kind of like his hand down like the front of his pants. And
that happened, sure.
Just chilling. He wants a beer, and he says, "Hey, give me a beer," and they'll both bring him a beer.
I know. Or I can just say, "Woman." No, that won't fly.
Yeah, that's you can catch a hot one if you do that.
Dude, I will. She'll catch a high hard one. She'll just knock my ass out.
So
let's do these giveaways.
Yeah, we've got a ton of shit to give away, and can I make a request on one of the winners, Logan?
Well, first of all, let me tell us what we have to give away. We have got all types of shit. We have got box Nub Habanos. We've got a box of, let me just say, by the way, these Nub Cafe, this is the macchiato. I put them, I have a huge cooler door of CigarChat prizes, and we give them away to members and stuff. And dude, that shit, when I opened it, I was like, yep, I put the nubs up in there. So just so you know, store your nubs in a different humidor because they smell good as shit, but they smell. And then, last but not least, the 70 by 70 donkeys, Padilla.
A 70 by 70?
Oh, fucking shitballs, yeah.
A 7 by 70.
No, 7. Well, it should be. Anyways,
that's a 2-week smoke.
And we've got cutters for days. For real. I mean, just making it rain, cutters, bitches. I mean, just everywhere.
So everybody who wins is getting 2 cutters.
Pretty much everyone who wins will probably get a cutter and then a spare, most likely.
Just in case.
So we'll do the giveaways. Just email me, Logan at Cigar Federation, Oliva in the subject line, your full name and address. You do not have to put anything funny, and we'll pick winners here before the end of the show. And as a preface, I kind of was really mean to someone today.
I know where this is going.
And I want to, well, first of all, I don't really want to apologize.
But you should.
But I kind of do, because Rob made me err my ways. Someone, I'm not going to say who, is a new member to Cigar Federation. And he emailed me and said, hey, man, I won Taboo Cigars last week. Basically, where are my fucking cigars? And he caught me.
Well, it was a polite reminder.
No, it was a polite reminder. I would agree.
Pointed reminder.
It was a pointed reminder, but it was polite. I will say it wasn't like jerk. Like, where the fuck are my cigars? And he woke the bear. He poked the bear.
He poked the bear.
He poked the bear. And I will not read my response, but it was very sharp and probably a little too strong. So I apologize for that. But just for the record, I ship out probably over 30 cigar packages a month to winners. I do not get paid for this. I do not get compensated. We do it because we love you. If I don't get your cigars to you in a month, then you can email me. But if you email me asking me where your fucking shit is at, within 6 days of winning, I'm bound to fucking explode. End of rant.
The timing of the email that Logan received was
yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a good mood when I got it.
It's not quite as unfortunate as the response that he sent out, but we're crafting
Rob is crafting an apology.
I'm crafting an apology email because
he is. He was so pissed at me. That was the best part because you got so angry.
No, I get it too because I mean we've gone back and forth, and Josh, you'll have to bear with us. We're ranting here a little bit. We've gone back and forth with who's going to ship everything out, whatever. And back in the day, I shipped everything out, and nothing would chap my ass like an email within 48 hours of a show saying, "Hey, where's my shit?" So I get that. Yep. But Logan unloaded on this guy. He read me the email. He unloaded on this guy.
I unloaded.
It was a little bit unnecessary. So
well, and then the thing is about the whole deal.
You know what we're going to do? You're going to put a couple of Oliva cutters in this.
I might throw some cutters. I might throw some fucking cutters. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, no way it wins. It's a pain in the ass to ship all this stuff out. We do it because we love cigars. We love the industry. We want to give you guys an opportunity to sample some of these cigars. Because the manufacturer on the show are gracious enough to give us cigars. And I'm not about to ask a manufacturer to send them a list of 8 names and then say, have fun shipping that shit out. Because that's not fair to them either. You know, they're donating the product, and they got to ship shit out to 8 people. That's a pain in the ass. So Rob and I shoulder that burden, but just don't email me in 6 days.
Well, on that note, I don't know how you're breaking up the winnings. I don't think you're not sending out full boxes. They're going to be like 5-packs and stuff.
Well, I don't know because I'm making it kind of.
Well,
I'm living on the seat of my pants right now.
I want Jared Garat to get some of the Nub Cafes.
Well, dude, that's like way too complex. Like,
no, it's not. Just make sure that he gets. It doesn't matter which ones they are. But just make sure that he gets some of them because he commented in the chat room that he really wanted to try it. And I think we give him a lot of shit, and we never really pick him as a winner for some reason. I don't know. I
don't think he's emailed me.
But he always edits my reviews when I post them up because he's a teacher. And he's always on when I'm posting up my reviews, and he always edits them for me, and I never really do anything for him. So
okay,
let's get him.
He needs to email me to remind me.
Yeah, Jared, email Logan about those Nub Cafes.
So anyways, enough of the rants. But
yeah,
that's
enough of that.
Dude, I want to bring you guys to the Big Smoke, all right? And you guys can work the Oliva booth with us.
No, bro. I'm down. I'm not out of that.
We're going to be going on some rants there, man. You guys think the rants have started on here? Woo, buddy.
I've never been.
Stories there, man.
I've never been, but I've heard it's just like a fucking cattle call, and you're like throwing cigars at people. Like it's unreal. It's like unreal.
Hey, you know, I walked here 7 miles, and I saved the dog along the way. Can I get an extra cigar for that?
You're shitting me.
I saved a dog. This guy.
I'm gonna bring you guys, man. We'll have some stories after that.
Oh, dude, you like if you want to like whoever you think your biggest competitor is, put me at that booth. Because I will destroy every bit of brand equity they have in that event, and I will light people the fuck up. I do not about that kind of stuff.
So for those who for folks who are listening maybe don't know what Big Smoke is, I mean, you can. I mean, maybe people don't know. We take some stuff for granted sometimes. I've never been to Big Smoke, but I've been to similar events. You kind of get a punch card or like a little lanyard that you wear, and you can go to each booth, and each booth is going to give you a sample of whatever it is that they were handing out. And so it's just lines upon lines of people who are just waiting for free shit. I mean, we've heard complaints that people say that IPCPR is like people going around just trick-or-treating. But events like that, people pay to trick-or-treat. Like, that's the whole reason that they're there. So I can imagine that you hear just about everything to get an extra cigar. I can imagine that.
Oh, dude, sure. I can imagine it. Well, let me ask you this. I got a question for you. And so I kind of feel the same way about events. There's a lot of events in Texas, right? And I'm not a big fan of like like a Big Smoke or like big festival events, because you literally get a ticket and it's cool because you're going to get a bunch of cigars and you're definitely going to pay not very much for them. But it's like you walk around, and I'm there because I want to talk to the manufacturers. I want to get to know them, especially the ones I don't know that I don't have a relationship with, right? And I was at Katz, and I'm not going to name the manufacturer, but like there was a guy we've been wanting to try to get on CigarChat for fucking 3 years, and he is elusive like a lemur. And we cannot nail this guy down. So I showed up, and I was like, no one was around, and he's sitting there like drinking coffee, having a beer, doing whatever, and like literally just tosses a cigar at me, and like was like basically told me to go fuck off. And I just want to be like, do you know? I mean, not that I'm like some famous dude, like who the fuck am I? But I'm like, come on, dude. What if I was like a retailer of yours or whatever, So my question is that what do you think about? I mean, obviously I know there's a lot of stories at those big events, but what is the best way that you think to get out the message around Oliva to the masses in a way where it's beneficial to everybody involved? I mean, the consumer, the manufacturer, the person hosting the event, etc.
I'm gonna give Josh a second to think about that, because Logan, you don't ask a lot of questions, and today I didn't really give you the opportunity to do so. I just kept going, and sometimes I do it on purpose, sometimes I don't. Today it was unintentional. We just had a lot of questions. Yep. But you ask really good questions. That's
really? Are you really giving me a compliment right now?
I can get the compliment bank ready. I never really do this. That was a really good question, and I'm disappointed that it didn't go in the AFRN segment. So,
dude,
okay.
Listen, I am like a fucking fugly-looking genius. If you just give me the fucking time to shine, bro, like I will fucking blow your goddamn mind. But you just underestimate me, Rob. You just underestimate me every week.
I do. I have set the bar pretty damn low.
I know. It's okay. I will fuck up occasionally, and then I'll piss people off. But
it's the way you dress, man. I can't take you serious.
I know, dude. I know, man. I walked into a client meeting in my real job the other day wearing jeans, and like it was about like I had fucking killed a puppy. Like, I mean, and I was the one presenting. Like, they were there to hear me. And then I started talking. They're like, okay, this guy's not like some punk wearing jeans and like, a fucking North Face. Like, I don't know. I just hate that shit where people judge you by what you wear.
But anyway,
answer the question. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. You have ample time to come up with a good answer, though, Josh.
No. I think it's a good and going off of what Rob said, yeah, dude, Logan, I listened to my man Jack Taranio and your guys'
dude, I love Jack. Man, that guy's fucking awesome.
You took over on that one, man. I was like, shoot, dude, if Logan's asking all the questions in mine, man, I might be in trouble, man. Oh, what am I gonna do?
You should watch last week.
No. That was really good. That question. Kind of going off of when you were talking with him about the magazines, I think it was, and asking if you think those are still legit. In a roundabout way, I think that it's everything. I think that Oliva specifically has supported us, when it comes to the big things like the magazines and putting us out there, but then kind of leave it up to almost the sales rep, and that's where I've taken over on social media, especially in my territory, and grown it into other territories where whether I was I went to Nika Cigar Fest last year and was posting a lot of things down there, and then the guys see our national sales manager, hey, tell Josh Oliva Bentley what's up for me, and that goes a long way, for me and the brand personally, I think. But those events do it. I think we're at them to show face, if you will, a little bit for the Big Smoke and I mean Cigar Fest, out in the Poconos and even to get into the Chattanooga Tweet Up and you guys have one big down by you guys, Logan. I forget what it is down there.
Texas Cigar Festival.
Yeah, Texas Cigar Festival.
That shit's huge.
Yeah. I mean, it really is, and you do get guys that you build brand loyalty at those things. But where I think it counts in your local reps doing the social media thing. They get a lot of followers, and then doing the local events that they just do at the brick and mortars, man.
I agree.
Getting it out there, and they get buddy with the reps, and they love that. And you want to know what? It was what I loved when I was going to the CAO events, way back in the day, and getting to meet Miguel, and oh, that was awesome, man. I met Miguel, and he had a poster sent to me from CAO, and it was signed. And, that was the greatest thing, and that's where you build that brand loyalty, where you personally give a guy a polo or a hat, and then you see him 2-3 years later at an event, and they're
wearing the same shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, exactly. I mean, there is a shirt that John Huber sent me back probably 2 years ago. It's when he just had 4 kicks, and it's like the gangster that looks like he's holding the vacuum, but it's really a crutch.
Yeah.
That shit is like 3 sizes too small. It makes me look like Baby Huey, but I will rock that shit to this day because that shirt is so tight. It's true, man, and I 100% agree with you. I think where it's at is the local events, getting to meet, reps one-on-one, the manufacturers, and it's just so much more personal there, and I just think it goes a long way. It's just like, what is the risk versus, the payout is okay, I get in front of 2,000 people at Big Smoke. I don't know if it's that much, but 1,000 people or whatever. Or do I do a local event where I've still got to spend a shit ton of money, I still got to travel, I still got to get there, but I'm only touching 10. Sorry, marketing guy by nature, I don't know.
You know what is a great way to get in front of a lot of people for a minimal cost?
It's CigarChat, just so you know.
Online advertising, man. And I know a great website that you guys can put some ads up on. I mean, they get people love that shit. I'm telling you.
I know, Rob. Always with a shameless plug. But anyways.
Somebody's got to do it. Otherwise,
it's true.
Shameless self-promotion, baby.
Got to do it. Yeah,
absolutely.
You can expect that media kit in the email in 2 to 3
You can expect that media kit forthcoming. Shit.
Send it on over, man. I'll get it in the right hands.
There we go. See, Logan, that's how you do it. It's easy.
Hey, man. I know. I love putting people on the spot on the show, and ask crazy questions. But anyways, that's enough for tonight. At least my crazy.
Yeah,
questions.
There's a handful of questions here that we didn't get to. We touched on a lot of them. Based on the way that this went, though, Josh, I think we're going to have you on the show here.
Oh yeah, dude, you're cool.
Again, and hopefully we'll run into you. I don't know why I had the camera on Logan. Hopefully we'll run into you at IPCPR and be able to hang out a little bit as well. We could try some of those chocolate stouts that we were talking about offline. They got to have something down there in Nolans. I've never been, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So Logan, do we have some winners?
Oh fucking A, we do. All right, in no particular order, and just so you know, last caveat. They are probably going to ship in the next 4 days. So I'm about to go on some business travel and go to India for 3 weeks. So just so you know, they're coming. In no particular order, not guaranteeing what cigars you're going to get. You're going to get at least a 5-pack and a cutter, but probably more than that. Punch Nubbin. David Jasmine. I had to pick Donut, man. He hasn't been around in a while, and I just
That's
fucking
Donut?
love him.
I didn't realize that was him.
Dude, that's fucking Donut, man.
Well,
I love that guy. Harley Holmes. Favorite. Stephen Christopher wins every week. Rot, you're fucking welcome. Chase Texican. He lives close, so shipping's cheap. He hadn't been around a long time. Dave Merchant. He used to be around. I haven't seen him in a while. And then Brent Greenwood, even though he lives in Kansas. But anyways, that's it.
So those are the winners. They don't have to.
And that's the thing is, I picked people that know me well enough not to fucking email me.
That's good. That's good. All right, so Josh, I told you we'd have you here for an hour. I lied. It's been like 75 minutes. So
hey, that's all right, guys.
Yeah, I had a great time hanging out with you, man. This was a lot of fun. You handle yourself very well. in this type of situation. I can see that. I mean, I would have no way of knowing what your sales numbers are like, but I imagine that you do pretty well, man, because you're very personable.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot, and you know, I know it means a lot to the guys. I try to get it out there, and I know I had a lot of guys texting and tweeting me, hey man, I'm going to be listening tonight. You know, hey, I got a group of guys that, you know, we're herfing and we're going to throw you guys up. So hopefully that helped the numbers, and yeah, man, we'll just keep at it, and you know, would love to be back on the air with you guys shortly.
Yeah, sounds great. We'll talk about a lot of the stuff that we didn't even get a chance to get into. So, and we didn't even really get a chance to talk about what's coming up, which I know you can't really tell us anyway. But I know there's got to be some stuff coming up in the next few months. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about. And you went out of your way to make Logan feel special, so I'm sure he appreciates that.
Anybody that does, man.
Yeah.
Logan. Lanceros and hair gel, baby. Lanceros and hair gel.
If I ever, hey, let me just say this, is that if I ever put hair gel in my hair, which it probably won't happen, I will make sure you're around at least so you can critique my work. I can do that.
That's awesome. I want to see it. All right, guys. Appreciate the support as always. You know where to find us, CigarFederation.com. Thank you to everyone who's listening on the podcast. Logan, we're going to pick some podcast winners too?
Yeah, we'll pick one. And
yeah. We'll
pick one.
Yeah, email Logan.
Email Logan at Cigar Federation. And don't try to pull in on this bullshit. If you were here tonight and you didn't win, and then you listen to it on the podcast, fuck you. I know who you are. You do it every week. I feel like you have scheduled emails that come like at certain times. Just fucking horse shit. He wasn't here tonight. But email me, Logan at Cigar Federation. Put, you know, Oliva Cigars podcast, your name and address, and then tell me a funny joke that'll make me laugh. And then I'm not going to say who you are. You'll just have something show up.
Cool. All right, guys. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, Josh, thanks so much for hanging out, man. It was a lot of fun chatting with you. And I didn't really get to go into it too much, but the Milano pairs very well with this Rogue Chocolate Stout. Quite tasty. I'm just about done, so I'm getting a little bit of rosy in the cheeks, and it might be time to crack open the second bottle. Who knows? But all right, guys, we'll be back. Logan, who do we have next week? I know I mentioned it before.
We have Sean Williams.
Yeah, Premier Mundo, so that'll be fun.
We get to talk about his departure and recent cigars showing up on Cigars International.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're available there now too. So that'll be that's going to be a good show. He's a fun interview. So guys, really do appreciate it. We will catch you guys next week. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Later,
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.